Konnichiwa Minna. Hello Straw Hats. In this video I will be doing a One Piece chapter review. So if you guys would like to see more of these types of videos from me, definitely use your Devil Fruit abilities to hit that subscribe button down below. So let's get started. So this will be One Piece chapter 1154 titled I Can't Even Die. So we start off with the Yamato cover page. So, Honi Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine, Pilgrimage Volume 38, at the grave of a hero, born in the West Blue and brought up in Ringo. So, like I'm guessing, this cover page is talking about Yasue. So then we get to the actual chapter. 63 years ago, Lord Gerald, the oldest man in the present day, lost his partner. Cascade Beard Joro was struck down dead by the hands of a certain young girl. Her name was Charlotte Linlin, a mere human, yet she left a large part of the giant village in ruins. She would later go become the Emperor of Earning, the epithet Big Mom. Okay, so this is a good piece of information there. So we get a little bit about Big Mom, how she got rid of an entire village 63 years ago. That same year, Elbaf faced a string of tragedies, and it was a calamity after calamity. Sudden fires, windstorms, and bitter cold waves devastated crops. And abnormal weather also brought fishing to a halt. This once magnificent land was fallen into famine. So Big Mom is in charge, I guess, of Elbaf with the firestorms, the windstorms, and then Hellbath going into famine. So Big Mom was responsible for that. Now do you see that what this child is doing? Okay, so then we cut back to Loki's backstory. This land was cursed because you all failed to get rid of it immediately. No, surely, it's just a coincidence. So then we see, I think that's Hestrid, and then we see baby Loki with those eyes. And then so she's like freaking out, like, he's staring at me. Prince Loki. To take it away. Don't ever let that monster near me again. And then Loki is crying, which makes sense because his mother said, like, take my son away from me. He's cursed. I don't even want to look at him. He's freaking me out. Just take him away. So, yeah, so Loki is crying, so he's reaching out to his mom. Prince Loki, you have to keep away from your mother's room. And so, is this mom saying this? Gouge out those monstrous eyes if left unchecked. His curse will grow until it brings about the nation's collapse. I'm like, geez, that's his mom saying that. So then, so we cut back to, like, I guess the village that is in famine. So we see like a girl crying that I'm hungry, and then her mom is all like, "Sorry, sweetie, that was the last piece of bread we had. So we need to steal from humans. Ain't that how it always been with Elbaf's history? Don't be ridiculous. A senseless raid on them would bring only shame to Elbaf." Yeah, so we see more of the giants saying, those people from Hunter's Village are attacking. Like, what are they? Eternal giant struggles weren't unheard of during desperate times, but these incidents only resulted in making a period more severe and bloody. The country was engulfed in chaos and misery. So basically, Hellbath hasn't always been like this. So I guess this is probably a combination of like Loki and Big Mom. So that's the reason why Elbaf is in shambles. He's cursed. So I think that's King Gerald saying that. And this bitterness festered as spirits broke. Oh, so we cut back to Harudin. So, hey, Hadudin, your brother doomed this country with this curse. So, I guess that's King Harold telling his other son, Hadudin, that, hey, your brother Loki, he was the one that cursed this country, which I believe it's not just him. I think it's him and Big Mom. As his elder brother, you will take responsibility for his sacrifice. Oh, so that's why Harudin is upset with Loki. Because Harudin has to take responsibility for what Loki did. Yeah, I can see why. Um, so we see Ida. Oh, so Ida is saying, what are you talking about? Don't you know my son's a cutie? Who's gonna be the world's longest living man? And then Harold is like, Can't Ida? You're nothing but an outsider. Yeah, who did that to Harold? Basically, he tells her to go to H. Basically, I love this country. So King Harold looks like he takes like an axe to strike his wife. And then Harudin is all like, "Don't you lay a finger on my mom." So he tries to, yeah. So yeah, King Harold flattens his wife. Forget you, Harold. Forget you. So then Harold is saying, "You reached me. You reached me about Loki's birth and the recent famine. I was building a rapport with various nations. When the news came, our allies acted without hesitation. They loaded tons of food and supplies to be shipped here. Humans may shall be stature, but not will. Our allied nations came together to ensure that we got enough to truly fill and salute our giant bellies." So I will say, King Harold like is a good king, I guess, from what I'm reading, but not the greatest husband, like I will say. Will be graciously accepted their aid. Okay, so we see some ships docking. Um, dig in and fill your hearts with gratitude. Okay, so King Harold is giving these people food, and then we go to Queen Estrid, which is Loki, yeah, which is Loki's mom. So Queen Estrid continued to publicly declare that plagues suffer. What? Yeah, so Queen Estrid continued publicly to declare plagues suffered by Elbeth. So yeah, Queen Estrid is not a nice queen. Wow, not nice at all. Were brought on by the accursed prince right up until the eye of Harold's return. She denounced her son with bitter hatred until her final anguished breath. Wow. King Estrid is not a nice mom. That she has hatred for her son. Man, now that is a debate. Who's worse, King Mom, Big Mom, or Queen Estrid? Let me know in the comment section, because that is tough. Like, they're both bad moms, that's for sure. Naturally, the people believed her passing was a part of the curse. So we see Loki with his bandaged up eyes. So now we know why he has to keep those eyes bandaged up, because like the curse thing. So that's why. So we see King Harold hold up his son, and he's like, "My son. He was born with a condition that affects his eyes. Well, he could see." Okay, so that makes sense why Loki has to have his eyes bandaged up. So it's been answered here that he has an eye condition, even though he could still see perfectly fine with those bandages, which is interesting, I will say. At only a few months old, Loki had given up on love, which I can understand why, because his mom is just not a nice person at all. Harold's diplomacy soon started to bear fruit, and Elbath's winter finally came to a close. Restoring the fractured nation and venturing across the seas continued to be prioritized, while other things became an became an afterthought. Estrid's older brother was appointed as Loki's personal steward. So then we cut back to Haududin. This is the realm of the dead. Isn't it dangerous here? Okay, so now we are at the realm of the dead, and then we see Ida pouring like a cup of beer, I guess. She's all like, we should be heading back. This is Ida's tavern, you hear? The fishermen's, castaways, even pirates. I'm ready for any and all customers. Okay, so it seems like Ida runs, I guess, this business or like this bar. So like I'm wondering if she knows, what's that woman? Like in chapter 1 of One Piece. Like with the Shanks backstory. Like I'm wondering if she knows her. So 56 years ago, Gerald's house. So now we cut back to Gerald's house. You were at the scene of reverie incident, Harold. Yeah, my friend was one of the invited kings. He smuggled me as one of his guards. So basically they're having a conversation. If you were caught, all this would be the least of your worries. Haven't you heard the tale of the Warhammer Company? They're that trope of giant shipwrights that arm themselves with warhammers, right? Okay, so talk about warhammers and shipwrights, and I guess that is like against the law of Elbath, I guess. So this giant says, no, they existed. They really did travel far and wide, sending letters back to Elbath. I received a final letter myself. It said that they have been captured. Can you believe that over 100 warriors were taken prisoner, including the ancient giants? Do you think the world government was responsible? There is no doubt that they once faced a great enemy. However, they sank deep into the ocean of a certain point of history, to be blunt. Wow, that is a lot of information there. So, look, of course, the world government is responsible. Look, of course. So, I'm wondering what this great enemy that they faced. There's probably a deeper reason why your ideals haven't worked out, and it has nothing to do with you. So King Harold's all like lingering animosity, huh? These are just rumors, but I also heard the story about a frozen army of giants somewhere. Oh, he might be making reference to the Yeti brothers back in Punk Hazard, I think. I think they were introduced in Punk Hazard. So maybe that's what he's referencing when he talks about the frozen army. I think they're talking about the Yeti brothers. It seems our people are regarded as enemies of the larger world. Okay, so yeah, so they're talking back and forth about like the world government being responsible. So then one of Loki's, I guess, bodyguards is all like, now let's see, what kind of garbage, well, we'll be serving today. So then Loki's all like, the horse of fortune passed away. So that was that horse, like in the last chapter, that had the 8 legs. So the horse of fortune passed away, which is sad because I like that horse. The steward's body was in the realm of the dead. So I'm not quite sure what he means by that. So 48 years ago, before the present day, the villagers drew closer in terms of trade and identity of the nation stood together. Wow, King Harold is a really good king, like I will say. He's definitely making some big changes in Elbath. So then we see Loki with his Kanabo just ready to fight. So that's funny. We need no weaklings. This is Elbath, the world's strongest. So I will say Loki has great pride in like where he comes from, which is Elbath. So that's cool. And then of course we see Haududin with his sword, and then Loki, with his Kanabo. So I guess like as brothers, they're kind of like roughhousing. I don't get why everyone respects him. He's dumb for trying to play nice with those human insects. So they're basically like roughhousing, and then Loki is like making fun of Harurin because he's like half royalty blood because of his dad, when Loki is full blood, like as far as royalty. So he's making fun of him for that. And then so we see Loki unbandage his eyes, and then he's saying that I can't even die because probably he's full royalty. So, but something tells me that he can, though. Maybe he believes that, but maybe he can because the God's Knights thought that they were invincible and they can't pass away, but even they have a weakness. So I think everybody has a weakness, Loki. We just don't know what your weakness is. And then we see Whitebeard, like in the flashback when he was younger. So we see Whitebeard, and then of course we see Zebek, the guy that Loki looks up to, the guy that stabbed Loki, and then we find out that Zebek is the father of Blackbeard, which makes sense because he looks very, very similar to Blackbeard. So that is interesting information. Really cool. So, yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about this video down below. And also, what do you guys think of this chapter? I would love to know. So, yeah, so we find out that Blackbeard and Zebek are father and son. That's cool. Loki's mom, Queen Hestrid, is not a nice mom. Not a nice mom at all. And yeah, and King Harold is a good king. So that's cool too. So, yeah, guys, I will see y'all next time. Matane.